What's up everyone and welcome to the video, and today we're going to do another faction guide for you. This is going to be how to play the Targaryens, which are becoming one of my favorite factions to use in the game. Now in Alliance Wars we need 4 teams. In Crown's Challenge you have the Pit, and you can use them in raids. I have been very successful in the Iron Throne, as you could see. With my attack team. This is my attack team right here with the Targaryens, a little under 800,000 power, and Maester is not even at 350 yet, so you can take down pretty much top teams. It is vulnerable against the greens because the greens can pick you off and just take you out with one-shotting. They're usually going to target the weakest members. But let's talk about the faction and why I love them so much. So the Targaryen faction bonus is 3 to 5 members. And if you get 5 members, which you're going to want to play 5 members, fire does 50% more damage against enemies. Fire is a damage over time debuff. You could stack it up to 10 times, and the higher the fire, the more damage per turn happens. The enemy team needs to have cleansers, people that remove debuffs, or else they will be in trouble. If you get stacked to 10 fire, it is pretty much game over. It is pretty much game over. So how do you do that? Well, first of all, you're going to have Daenerys as your lead. Daenerys lead. All enemies begin combat with 1 fire, and all Targaryen team members have an indefinite 15% fire resistance buff. So this is good right here. And then Daenerys' passive is when she critically strikes a foe, she inflicts 1 fire on them. Now, she's going to gain, whenever an enemy becomes afflicted with fire, she's going to gain 7% stamina and reduce the enemy's fire resistance by 5% for 3 turns. So this is similar to King in the North, of how every time there's ice, he gains stamina. Well, every time you afflict fire, Daenerys gets stamina. She has a very slow speed move, but once you get lots of fire on the enemies, you can use this move and confidently wipe out enemies. It is very strong and powerful. You are going to want to pair her with Grey Worm in the team, because when you have the vertical clear power-ups, when it's activated, 2 random enemies become afflicted with fire. So that is very important. You want to get to 10 stacks of fire. Speaking of Grey Worm, you are going to want him on the team. He is one of the better tanks in the game. We're going to explain why. First of all, he has an HP guard at 50%, 25%, and 10% health, which is one of the best features of a character, to have those HP guards, because you cannot nuke him in one shot. You have to go through each HP guard. And then when the HP guard is used, he's going to afflict a random enemy with 1 fire. So potentially 3 fires. If you have Mender on the team, there's a 50% chance for more. Can inflict 6 fires just from that alone. Now he has a slow speed move, which is the bummer that it's not normal, but there are ways around it. He's going to do an AoE for a small amount, and he's going to taunt for 5 turns, which is a great taunt. While he's taunting, if he's hit by a skill, he has a 90% chance to apply fire to his attacker. So this comes in handy and applies even more fire. Remember, the magic number is 10. You want to get to 10 stacks, and the team up tile is huge. It does not help on defense, but on offense, it is great, and I am always looking for vertical matches. You get to learn and have fun with the board. Now, then you have other characters that you can use on the fire team. Let's talk about the characters that I'm not recommending on the fire team. That would be the blacks, Rhaenyra and Rhaenys. Now, they are great characters, but I feel like they are better used in the black faction. And if you're looking to get to 10 fire, you're not going to get there as quickly. Now they are legendaries over epics and commons, so you do have higher stats, but I would not recommend them for the teams that you're wanting to get to 10 stacks of fire. Now, in a very important character, and also these characters are important for the egg event too, so you do have to be careful about over leveling them. If you go too high in treacherous, you will mess yourself up. You basically will have to change your strategy around because they'll be too strong. That leads us to Viserys. Viserys is an excellent fire character. He has a great passive ability. So he's going to get a 25% fire resistance buff indefinitely. And then every 3 turns, he's going to afflict himself and up to 3 random enemies with 1 fire. If you pair him with Mender, which is great for the egg event, as well as the pit, every 3 turns, 3 random enemies are afflicted with 1 fire, and then Mender has a chance to apply even more fire. Now, this is why you need Grey Worm on the team, because Viserys is quite squishy. If you look at his stats, this is with all legendary gear, he does have a low amount of health, so he can be taken off the team quickly if you do not have protection. He does have an AoE that does bonus damage for each fire on him at normal speed. Does a little bit of damage. But then we have an MVP in the team. The MVP in the team is the Maester. Now, he is an epic, so you are going to need to get him to 350. And I am working on getting him to 350. As you could see, he's up to 322. The Mender has a great kit. The first part of his kit is whenever a Targaryen ally is damaged by a skill, the Maester heals them for 15% attack with a chance to critically heal. When a team member is critically healed by an ability, the Maester grants them 1 renew and afflicts 2 random enemies with fire. Now, if you get his skill up to level 10, he will have a 25% chance to critically strike, which is on his heal. So that's passively. When someone's hit by a skill, that's a 25% chance, as well as his regular heal. Now, he has a great skill in the game at normal speed, where he's going to heal a team member for 95% attack and grant them taunt for 4 turns. So basically, you want to run him with Grey Worm, and you either have the ability to get blues on the board to get Grey Worm's taunt, or purples on the board to get Maester to give Grey Worm the taunt to buy you more time. The more time you buy, the more fire Viserys can apply, the more vertical tiles you could do, and you could protect guys like Mender if you choose to use him on the team. And then you could critically heal, which is going to give you a boost in healing and just do great things. So overall, he is just wonderful. He is a phenomenal character. Highly recommend him for the fire team. My last guy on my fire team is the Mender. Now, oh my god, he's a common. 350 common. Look at his stats. They are low. Well, what you got to do is you got to protect him. There's different ways you could run the fire team. You could run it like me, which is the high risk, high reward method, or you could go with other characters, like you can use Alicent or Rhaenyra 1, which will have better stats at the same star level and rank. We're talking about high-end PvP, so I'm assuming you're going to have these characters at 7 stars, level 350, and that's the comparison. So, Mender has the ability to heal for max HP. It could critically heal, and then he has an 80% chance to remove 1 debuff from each team member, which is wonderful. He can remove fire off of Viserys. He can remove ice. He can remove other fire. He can remove bleed. So removing debuffs is essential. But the main part of his kit that you want to pay attention for is this right here, his passive. When an enemy is afflicted with fire, the Mender has a 50% chance to apply an additional fire. That means Daenerys starting everyone off with 1 fire, there's a 50% chance for the fire. Every time you have a skill with fire, the Mender has the ability to potentially add even more fire to that, which makes him an excellent character. Now, he is a common, so you are going to need to get him to level 350, definitely with legendary gear, as you can see right here. And you're going to need to protect him, so that's why you're going to need Grey Worm and Maester. But he is a great character. Then you have Alicent Hightower. Alicent Hightower is a phenomenal character. She has one of the best passives in the game. When a team member is debuffed, Alicent grants them Renew and has a 30% chance to remove a debuff from them. So when you face the ice teams, when you face the other fire teams, or when you face the Brienne, Bolton, Bleed teams, every time a debuff is applied to someone on the team, she has a 30% chance to remove the debuff. No need to match gems for this skill. This is just a guaranteed 30% chance it's going to be removed. It is invaluable. She is a fantastic character. She also is a normal speed character that is going to afflict all enemies with fire, and then she's going to heal a target team member for 32% attack with a 45% triage bonus. Triage bonus is the lower the health is, the more effective the heal is. So, very good. Heal. The heal is okay. The heal isn't amazing, but she afflicts fire on everyone, and the ability to remove the debuff at 6 stars, you get the 30% chance. Otherwise, I believe it's 25%. But it is fantastic, and she is a legendary, so her stat lines will be much higher at 350. Then you also have Rhaenyra Targaryen. This is Rhaenyra 1. She is a good character. She has a normal speed move, does a little bit of damage to them, and inflicts fire. She has an 80% chance to remove a buff from them. Enemies who had a buff removed are afflicted with an additional fire. So that means Birthright is a buff. Renew is a buff. So you have options against certain teams. And then with her regular kit, when she receives a buff, she has a 75% chance of triggering a power-up at 6 stars. When she receives a buff, she heals for 2.5% max HP. Solid character. And then when iconic gear comes out, 2 characters on this team are going to be boosted heavily. That is going to be this Rhaenyra and Red Daenerys. So those 2 characters are going to have iconic gear that are going to greatly benefit the fire team. Now, what does the fire team do well against? Well, they dominate ice. They dominate the Starks. They just annihilate them. They just annihilate the Starks. It is just night and day. You need to take out Ned, just burn him to death. Just get him to 10 stacks of fire and just let him burn. They do not have enough cleansing to take care of the fire. Fire is also good against the Brienne, Bolton, Bleed teams. Fire is good against the Lannisters. Fire is good against other fire. You just need a good board. So just bear that in mind. I wouldn't recommend using Kristen. I just wouldn't recommend using him for the team. I figure you have a good amount of characters to choose from. You have these right here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 characters to choose from. Pick the 5 that you want. You definitely want Daenerys and Grey Worm on the team for sure. But other than that, depending on your roster, you go about it that way. Now, they are an incredibly fun team to play. They are vulnerable to the greens. The greens can just pick them off one at a time with the damage moves and just take care of your fire team. And when the members go down, bad things happen. So it is just important to note that. So it's a very fun team, and I highly recommend working on them. You need 4 teams in Alliance War, and the Blacks aren't really the most free-to-play friendly option right now. Plus, the full team is not out. You do need 1/1, which is also a event character, and events are getting more and more diluted. So there is a rumor that there is going to be a Blacks event, so you will be able to get more shards of the Blacks. However, in my opinion, the Targaryens are a fun and accessible option for you. Anyone can get Maester, anyone can get Mender. You probably have them at 7 stars already. Daenerys and Grey Worm, very easy to get. Viserys, easy to get now. Alicent and Rhaenyra are event characters, so you won't get them as often. But this is just a fun team. This is just a really fun team to play. Comment below and let me know if you use fire. And this is becoming one of my favorite teams to use, and I can't wait to use my Maester this week in Alliance War. So check out that video, and I will talk to you all next time. Take care, all.